What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Talks, the only podcast you need for all your movie news, movie reviews, and more. Episode
Phew,
70. So
70.
we do have a 3,000 longing situation going on here because for whatever reason, the movie theaters decided that Boy and the Heron is no longer going to be streaming, not streaming, being shown
Uh-huh.
at the at the cinemas, which is the weirdest choice. Like it came out the 8th of
It's so odd.
December, and they're like, "Nah, done. That's your
It's been
run."
less than a month.
Yeah,
And
it's
every time I
weird.
went to go watch it, I either have work, I had family stuff on, my car broke down, like I just kept having problems. Like the world does not want me to see Boy and the Heron.
No, and
So
it only had three showing times as well, which was weird,
yeah. And then for the
bizarre.
past like the last week of its run at the movies, it was once a day. Like
Yeah.
9 p.m. or some shit. I'm not going to movies at 9 p.m. Fuck that.
I always pick the early option because I hate I hate later. I'm an
Yeah, I'm
early
the
person.
same. I try to go to the 11 o'clock screenings, but I'm often working at that time.
Yeah, no. If it's at 9, I'm in. Like
Hmm.
that's the 9 to 11 is my sweet spot. And the rest of the
Yeah,
time, it's like nah.
I agree. I'm like that
Yeah.
now as well. Get up early and or not early. Nine for me is early.
Uh, yeah, right. Well, this episode we've got the Saltburn, which is the new Amazon Prime one, which you may or may not have heard a lot of trending stuff about it. There are some three scenes that we'll delve into, which are
Oh yeah.
quite unique. Then we've got the new Godzilla rising up from Minus One, which I didn't realize was subtitles, but we'll get into that. Also, Godzilla's coming to Fortnite just randomly.
Oh
Godzilla,
really?
yeah, he's coming everywhere. And like there's a
Probably shouldn't say that.
Hey, who knows? Nuclear
Sorry.
reaction.
Sorry.
He's coming everywhere. You'll see.
Godzilla's coming everywhere, guys.
Yeah. And we've also got the new Pokemon Concierge, which is the brand
Yeah,
new Netflix 4 episode miniseries, which is a little bit different for your Pokemon take. But
very much
every
so.
everyone's favorite segment is movie headlines. I feel like it's not really movie news, it's the headlines that you get.
It's the it's the titles on empire.com. Is that what you use?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
like it. It's good. It actually like gets me excited for stuff and I really like this segment. I'm glad we kept with it.
Yeah, it's good. Actor Tom Wilkinson dies at age 75.
I don't know who that
The
is.
actor who also adapted when called upon to play, I might actually click into this headline. Character adapted upon leading parts has died. I don't know.
He was in Batman Begins, supposedly.
I don't know what that is.
He was in
Oh,
Full Monty.
Batman Begins, Shakespeare in Love, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Girl with the Pearl Earrings, The Patriot. Good movies.
Okay. Good
Uh,
movies. I don't
Um,
really recognize him though.
no, I got no
Well,
idea.
Rip,
Yeah, so
75. Good run.
sounds bro. Um, then we've got another sad news. Director David Leland dies at age 82. So, director of stage and screen. What did he do?
I don't know this name either. Sad
uh,
news to people know that I don't know have died.
he wrote Made in Britain.
Band of Brothers. It's a fucking good
Oh
movie.
yeah,
Directed that.
yeah, yeah, right.
Okay.
So,
Some things I've
unfortunate.
seen.
Hmm. And
Yep.
then we've got Todd Phillips offers a new look at the Joker sequel. There's no new movie news. We're back into the headlines we had last week straight
Oh
away.
wow. I guess this time
Sure.
of year.
Yeah, it would be hard. There's just there are some new movies that came out. So Migration, which is I want to say Pixar's new one,
Yeah, yeah,
or
it is.
yeah, Illumination, I think, which is about the
Oh, it's
birds
Illumination.
migrating. Looking at I think it's Illumination. It says
No idea.
Illumination on the
Distributed
top.
by Universal. Right.
Oh yeah.
It's Illumination. Oh, there you go.
The
Yeah.
new
Don't care.
Aquaman 2 is out, and they cut down Amber Heard's parts to like 25 minutes.
I've
Is it
heard. I had a
which
customer tell me.
interesting?
Yeah. I'm surprised she was even cast, but DC makes some weird decisions. The fact they still release the Flash after all his stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Then Wonka is also out. My wife and I
But
got
it's
a
good.
yeah. My wife and I got to go to the movies. We had a little bit of a date last week, and we saw Anyone But You, which is the new romantic comedy, which is Sydney Sweeney and what's his name, Glenn Powell. It's a very, very standard rom-com, but is
Yeah.
quite funny with some of the awkward humor. It was actually quite enjoyable, like
Every
predictable,
photo
but enjoyable.
I just looked up anyone but you. Every photo that I see on like, the images from the movie
Mm,
is them like really close staring into each other's eyes.
yeah,
Every single photo.
yeah. Um, Sweeney's actually pretty funny. She reminds me
Okay.
of Jennifer Lawrence. Like, what was her one where she was pretending to be the
Um,
whatever it was
No
that
hard feelings.
yeah, that kind of humor.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
I've seen her in nothing.
okay.
I've heard Euphoria is pretty good. Plenty of students said I've got to watch it, but I never have.
Yeah, we watched the first one or two episodes. I'm just feel like I'm now too far removed from that high school drama sort of stuff. So I don't like
Yeah, ditto.
if I was a teenager, I'd probably be all around that show. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's how
it's
I feel with a lot of shows. I can't connect with the characters because it's all just teen drama that now that I'm on the outside looking in, it's like this is dumb as shit. But
yeah. So
that's part of getting old and senile, I suppose.
so who knows? I can see why
But it
people
was
like
decent.
it.
Okay.
Hmm. But yeah, if you're looking for a romantic comedy to see with your significant other, it's not a bad watch.
Anyone
We
but you.
we had a
Sure.
good time. Wish is also out, which is Disney's one of Disney's newest
Mm,
flops. People were saying that it's flopped pretty hard,
yeah.
but people that saw it with their kids have said it's actually not too bad. So I don't know. I think
Oh,
it's
so
one of
far removed
those.
from it all now.
Yeah. Also, what's his name? Tiki, the New Zealand director that did Thor Ragnarok and Love and
Oh, Taika
Thunder.
Waititi. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Next Goal Wins is out now as well. That's
Oh, is
the
it?
yep, that's
Oh, hell
the
yeah.
the soccer one about the
Yeah,
team
yeah.
doing the soccer. Apparently, it's quite reasonable. Good laughs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the 2014 World Cup,
Yeah.
2014 Women's World Cup. Is that what it's about?
I believe it's
No,
that one. It's one of them. I
I
can't
don't know what
remember.
it's about. See,
Is
so,
it
2014. No, women's wasn't 2014. The regular was 2014. Samoan soccer team. Okay.
16? Yeah, I don't know. But apparently it's quite funny. And Dream Scenario is also out. And then you've got your
I want to see
holiday,
it so bad.
you got your holiday trolls band together as well. So
Yep.
that's everything out now.
I think I'm gonna watch Dream Scenario this afternoon.
Ooh,
It's gonna be great.
okay.
A24, Nicolas Cage. It's pretty meta. I'm
Ooh.
down.
Also, we saw the trailer for my wife was complaining. She was like, when you used to go see a rom-com, you used to get all rom-com adverts. And
Yeah,
we got a mixture of adverts coming in for this one. So we got the new Madam Web. Looks great. Like I'm quite excited for Madam Web.
sure.
And then we also got one for what is the new Blumhouse film? Don't Swim Alone or something, or the pool. It's pretty much it, but with the pool. So the person like lives in the pool
Oh,
filter.
really?
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
so
wow.
bad. Everyone's reaction in the cinema was like, "What is this?"
Serious.
Like, "This is the most bizarre premise ever." It looks
Night
shocking.
swim?
Night Swim, that's the one. Yeah,
Night swim. Oh, man. I can't believe the concepts that are being approved. That's Blumhouse, man. Do fucking anything.
it looks terrible. It's so funny. Like it didn't even look scary.
From what did I see the other day? I saw something the other day that was I was watching Big Fat Quiz of the Year. Do you ever watch that?
No.
British like game. Every year they do like a British game show hosted by Jimmy Carr. He's the worst part.
All right.
And yeah, there was this bit where they had like scenes from movies and you had to guess the name of the movie.
Mm,
And they had the scene from Megan with the Three where she's like dancing.
mm.
I said to Eb, like, oh look, this is Megan with a three. This is like the most fucking cringy scene ever. Now you get some experience a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Pretty sure there's getting a
It's not
sequel.
good.
I wonder if it was Megan with
Of
a
course it
four.
is. Megan
Megan
with the
four.
four. It'll be a four instead of an A. It'll be M3G4N.
Oh, it'll be
And then
yeah.
Megans, the third will be Megans. It'll be the same with a five for an S.
Oh, I hope they do that. Please do that.
This is my prediction. Lock it in.
Yeah. If anyone's got connections to the studio, send them this podcast.
Just like we forgot to mention a couple of weeks ago that our review of
Oh yeah.
Babezilla was watched by the creator and one of the
And this
actors.
and the studio, yeah. How good.
Yeah,
The bloke was
Bob Job,
saying,
whatever it was, actually like commented on it and said, "Thanks for watching. You guys had fun. That's the main thing." We're like, "Fuck yeah, dude!"
yeah, it was so good. And then I had a
Right?
chat with one of the blokes that was in the strip scene. Apparently it
Yeah,
took 3 hours.
of course it did.
It took
That seems like an overstatement. I feel like it was more like two and a half, but
I know, I think they'll like start dancing again. We could do this scene again.
yeah, it's pretty insane.
It's
But yeah,
so
that's pretty
funny.
cool. I want to
It's,
watch more of his stuff now because he's actually commented on our content. It's cute.
yeah, so good. We didn't
Love it.
even tag him in it. Like I wonder if he just searches the
He must
yeah.
just search his titles on YouTube and oh, here we go. What do these guys think? I feel
Uh,
kind of bad because we did rag on it a lot, but we also said we had a lot of fun.
I,
So
I think they're fully aware. I don't think they've
yeah,
gone out going, this is peak
masterpiece.
cinema. But
Yeah,
like
peak cinema.
I still laugh and remember it. Like it's memorable.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's one of the most entertaining things I've watched in a long time. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to our first one off the rank. And you've been
Let's
very, very excited for this one. And
I have.
before I was watching it, TikTok got me, and they were like, people
Uh-huh.
were talking about don't watch Saltburn with your family. And then one of them I saw it was like they were watching it, and then they flipped to like the family, and the family were like giving some weird faces, and
Yeah.
you understand soon.
Yeah. I watched this like Filipino mother watching the whole thing, and it was like the daughter was filming it and then cutting to moments, had like a caption saying bathtub scene, grave scene, whatever. And
Mhm.
watching her reactions is fucking hilarious.
I would actually say there's four scenes. There's four scenes that you're like, whoa, all right,
Okay,
and we'll
we'll
get
touch
into
on
them.
that.
So,
Hmm.
I was also, just not important. I was in
What?
our mate Under the Knife's stream the other day, and someone was saying he needs to watch Saltburn, and then he was like, "What's it about?" And I was like, "Well, it's
Where
about."
do you begin?
It's about this. So Saltburn is a student at Oxford University finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic.
Aristocratic.
That's not even close. I sound like a bird. Classmate who
It's all right.
invites him to
It's a
the
tough word.
eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer never to be forgotten. So,
Yep.
before we go into all the bits and pieces, I've got to say, Saltburn, this is what I picked up, is about the raw, like, oh, what do I want to say? The raw, not emotions or like desires. So, like, giving into like
That
lust
desire.
or desire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that desire.
Mm,
Definitely.
yeah. And like in its rawest form. That was
Hmm.
it took me a little while to work out. I was like, what the hell is this about? And because it was
Hmm.
just bits and pieces. But like when you realize that it's about that, you're like, oh, okay, I can see each of these sort of like different characters being represented in each of these people. And
Okay.
then
Hell
and
yeah.
then my biggest downfall was like they set that up really, really well. And then when you learn about where all it went to, the motives changed. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I want to discuss because this is the kind of sort of movie that is so much better when you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, yeah,
When when you're guessing, not the guessing, but when you've been delivered 2 hours of themes and messages, and then the last 10 minutes is like, oh, that's not what I was what I've been watching.
yeah,
So yeah, if you haven't watched it, I'm not going to spoil it yet, but definitely watch it before we get to spoilers later. We'll mention that when we get there.
yeah. So Oliver Quick, which is played by Barry Keoghan, who does a really, really good job. Like I
So
thought,
good.
he was incredible. Uh,
Absolutely.
he's gone to Oxford on a scholarship and is like trying to navigate. The whole setup is him trying to navigate his way through college.
Hmm.
He meets Felix, um, which Felix is the very, very, I guess, what would you say? Like he's kind of the golden child, like because of his family.
Yeah. He's rich, handsome, charismatic. Like he's got everything going for him, you know?
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy. He's like really genuinely warming. He's not a douchebag.
I would say his like desire or like what they try to display him is like empathy. I feel like
Yeah.
he embodies empathy
Yeah.
in this. Like he's
His desire is like that young desire to just have fun and be around people that actually like enjoy being around him because you've got to think that when you're rich, when you've, got a standing in life, that people will treat you on your title, not they don't treat you on your person. And
yep,
he's just his desire is to have fun and to be liked and to actually have people around him who like him for him.
yeah. She likes me for me, not because you know the song.
Like me for me. Of course I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Banger.
So he meets Oliver, and Oliver lets him borrow his bike, and then all of a
Yep.
sudden, that's where it all kicks off. That's the catalyst, and then Oliver and Felix become really close and really good friends.
Yep.
Oliver at break time isn't going back home. He's spinning a story that he's not really well off. His mother is a addict, and is not safe to go home. So he gets
Hmm.
invited to Felix's house, which is Saltburn, and that's where everything kicks off from there.
Yeah, Zach on. Yep,
Yep. So
for
we're,
sure.
we're introduced to a number of different characters, which are mainly the people in Felix's like family or connected family. Like we have the mum, who the mum is like pretty.
Elspeth.
I want to say eccentric, but I'm not sure eccentric is the correct word for her. She's like,
She's she's so she pretends like she's aware of everything going around her, but she's so ignorant to the world and naive to a fault, like she knows nothing about the world outside of her little bubble
yeah.
and almost revels in that.
And then the father's kind of the same. He's like just the rich man. Was
Hmm.
it ever established how this family had so much money? Was it like passed down? I can't
I think
remember
it's family
exactly.
money. I think
Yeah,
it's family money because, like, the castle and stuff. I think it's
yeah.
family money. I do forget that detail to be honest, but
Uh, like I always think with family money, like it's got to go down. Like how does it keep? They have like
investments.
this never ending that like living off dividends and rent and land and
If you put 30 million in a trust fund, in a family trust fund, and their avenues can go down. I watched this whole TikTok the other day about it because I was curious. Um, you can earn over 1 million a year just through investments and what's the word when you get money from the bank for having big money in their bank?
interest.
Interest for having interest and yeah, investment things like that. Like there's ways to make money off of money. So like I think that's sort of where they're at.
Okay. Yeah. It's nuts how much money, like the amount of grounds and butlers and everything that they have is pretty insane.
Hmm.
Obviously, the family takes some friends in and like looks after them. They have the big spreads that you'd expect. You have all the
Yeah.
like everything must be presented well, and then you have everyone else presented with all their like flaws and stuff that go on behind the scenes. And it's
They only take people in like an injured bird, where they
mm,
once the bird's flying around happy again, they want nothing to do with it to a point where they'd rather the bird die again because they've done their job, and they'll blame the bird for, oh, it's the bird's fault for flying away.
Yeah.
You know, I really like her. I really like her character and her complexities.
Yeah, which is very like everyone in this can. Well, it was 2 hours, 2 hours runtime, 2 hours
Yep.
and 11 minutes, and they do a really good job with giving like each character enough that you're like, oh, okay, I understand their
Yep.
motives, I understand
Yep.
why they like this, which is quite hard to do with like it's a reasonable amount of people to try and do that with.
I think it was smart though, because it's only really five characters, right? It's Oliver and Felix, and then it's Elspeth, her husband, and then the sister. Oh, and sorry, and Farley. So six. There's like six sort of pivotal characters.
Mm.
I think that's really smart. They haven't tried to have this huge extended family there and have all this deep lore with the family. I like that they've kept it pretty grounded in that fact.
Yeah, but still 6 characters in 2 hours to
You're
try
not
and
wrong.
get
Yeah.
like that many backstory and bits and pieces
Yep. Yep.
is quite difficult and still play out a story that
Definitely.
relatively well holds together. So
Oh, definitely. Especially with the themes that they're exploring,
yeah.
like so in depth. It's yeah.
So Act One is just Oliver meeting Felix and then Felix taking in Oliver. And when Act Two sort of kicks off, Act Two is a little bit slow, and then all of a sudden things just start to spiral and things go,
Yep.
what in the hell is happening? So
Yeah. Yeah.
at this point, if you have not seen Saltburn, please go and watch it and then come back to this moment
Hmm.
because these scenes are more impactful if you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. I'll say before we get to spoilers as well that this is a sort of movie that will sit with you. Like when I first finished, yeah, it's pretty good. I would recommend it to people, but since I've watched it, like I'm glad I watched it a few days ago. But since I've watched it, it's sat with me. I've done some research. I've thought about some more. So I've rewatched some scenes. I really want to rewatch it again. I'm trying to get my partner to watch it. Um, I think this is a movie that you don't necessarily walk away from with your opinion formed. I think your opinion forms over time, personally.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it then.
Yeah.
So in Act,
Spoilers.
yeah, so in Act Two, Oliver develops this, I would say, almost unhealthy bond with Felix. Like he can,
Obsession.
yeah, like fully
Mm.
obsessed with him. Is like following him around when he's not like with him, interacting with him. He's following him, standing around, watching him do all sorts of different things to the point where he even watches him in the bathtub. So
Yep.
Felix is in the
Having
bathtub.
a tug.
Yeah, he's releasing some stress. And after Felix is done in the bath, he like obviously gets out, cleans himself, off he goes on his day. Oliver comes in, and this is the first scene where you're like, what in the hell is happening? We get a close up of Oliver drinking and rubbing his face in Felix's bath water right near the
Yeah.
drain as it's going
Yeah.
down. And this scene, they don't shy away from it. It was quite,
No,
it felt like it was quite a long scene because I'm like, what is this bloke
it
doing?
was. Yeah, it's confronting at that point.
Yeah, and you're like, what's going on with Oliver here? Like,
Mm.
is he right in the head or like what's happening?
Mm. That's
And
really interesting.
you're like, whoa, old mate,
Yeah.
you need to calm down a little bit here. But
It's the first
that's
time you sort of see the part of Oliver's character, and I think there's a shot really early in the film was looking out a window, and it's got like multiple Olivers through reflections and stuff. Can you picture that one?
yeah.
Um, Part of his character is that he has all these different personalities, and that not that he's like bipolar, but he's so good at manipulating himself, who he is behind closed doors versus who he is in front of different people. And I love that. Yeah, this is the first time you sort of see him as what the fuck behind closed doors. This guy is a little odd and like obsessive to a point of perhaps danger.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
And then you see Oliver from that point on, like fully control and manipulate everything. And I
so cool.
think the switch was so well done. Like his
Yep.
spiral into trying to control this entire family
Hmm.
was so good.
For sure.
And like he ends up making a relationship with the sister. I forget her
Well,
name.
everyone, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
yeah, Annabelle.
Annabelle, yeah, so Annabelle kind of is, would you feel like she's looking for attention? Like, I don't know if she's
Yeah.
held up.
When they're first there, the mum, Elizabeth, sorry, Elizabeth, Elspeth says, she's been draping herself around the house waiting for you to see her. Like, I love
Yeah.
that.
So she's looking for attention, and
Yeah.
Oliver has interactions with her. There's another scene where they get together outside, and there's
Hmm.
some back and forth. What's his name? Farley.
Bali.
Farley. He doesn't like Oliver. He doesn't like that Oliver's got in there. He doesn't like the
Yep.
interaction with Felix. He tries to cause some drama by doing the, "Well, I saw Oliver with your sister" to Felix, and then
Hmm.
Oliver's controlling that. Still manipulates Annabelle by
Yep.
like showing her attention. There's a scene where she's like, "I can't do it," and he's like, "Lucky I'm a vampire."
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Which is so good. Like calling himself a vampire when he is sucking and draining this family the whole way through. Like it's yes, he's obviously drinking her blood, menstrual blood. That's the whole scene. That's why it's pretty confronting. But
yep.
calling himself a vampire, there's so much there, like symbolically as well. I love this so much.
So that's scene two that you're like, Jesus,
Hmm.
this bloke's going all out.
Yep.
And you see him fully control it. Annabelle's got an eating disorder, and you see Oliver at the table, like getting her to eat and like controlling her through that way. And then
Yep. Yep.
he like worms his way in with the mum as well. So the mum
Yep.
forms an
And Farley.
attach. Yeah. Oh, I forgot that scene too, where he like just pops out into the bedroom. It's like, "You're gonna be a good boy."
Yeah.
Well,
He
Jesus.
like he literally besides the dad, he sleeps with everyone in the family,
Yeah.
more or
Like,
less. I mean, it's assumed that him and Elspeth sort of get it on. I don't know if that's factual or not, but that's sort of what I assumed.
I assume that was later on after.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. After everybody else has died, but
Yeah.
um, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So he's just worming his way in there. He's controlling
Mhm.
everyone. He's so good at reading what makes each person tick. He's able
Yep.
to like control it. Then there's a big party. The big party comes out that like it's Oliver's birthday.
Yep.
The mum organizes all their friends. Oliver realizes like this is kind of the spiral where things are getting a little bit out of control because
Hmm.
Felix and him are, I guess, at odds. And
Yep.
then Felix unfortunately does pass away. And
Well, prior to that, Felix discovers that Oliver's been lying about his family.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which is sort
Yeah.
of that's the beginning of the spiral.
Yeah, where he gets caught out, and then Felix unfortunately passes away. There's a whole scene where
Hmm.
everyone just breaks down, and
Hmm.
they're a family that push everything down. You don't talk about unhappy things,
Yeah.
and then you're at the funeral, and after the funeral, Oliver goes to the grave and does some things
Does some things.
to
Oliver,
the
yeah, he's
grave.
like crying at the grave. It's this long shot. It's quite beautiful, actually.
Is it?
Well, the shot is, and right at the bottom of the frame is like the graveyard, and he's just crying and crying. He takes his shirt off so he can get closer to the grave, and then you see him unzip his pants and sticks his dick in the soil and has a bit of a gyrate
Yeah.
with the soil, which is yeah. And I'm still on the fence whether or not he was because he killed him, and at that point, I don't know if he is sexually pleased by the fact that he killed him, or if he's still like if he's actually grieving him, and this is his way of getting his last sexual contact with Felix. because he's a very, very sexual being, Oliver, and he hides
Yeah.
it so perfectly.
Which,
I'm
yeah.
wondering if it's like a sexual gratification in like, I've killed you. This is the beginning. I'm now I'm kicking goals here. That's my curiosity as well.
I saw it as like power.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
like he's definitely fully on the power trip. Like that's how he what gets him going is
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
the
definitely.
control and the power. And I feel
Yeah,
like
every sexual
even
interaction he has is about power.
and even like controlling people's lives, like to the point
Yep.
where if you actually live, that is the full control. Mm.
Definitely.
So like
So
I
what's the
don't
fourth one? What's the fourth one that you're like, oh wow, what's that scene? You said there was four earlier.
so bathtub, vampire, the grave.
Grave.
And then afterwards, he plants himself in a coffee shop that he knows the mum always frequents,
Yep.
and then he gets worms his way back in. He looks after her, and like it's suggested that he worms his way into the wheel for the money and the power, and
Hmm.
then starts to poison her so that she passes away as well. Then once we learn that the estate gets passed over to Oliver, Oliver does the full dance to Dancing in the Moonlight, full nude. It's
Yeah.
like,
Murder on the
whoa.
dance floor.
Yeah, I was like,
Murder on the
what?
dance floor.
It's like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
That was the fourth
True.
scene for me. I was like, what is happening? Like it's a cool shot of him like dancing and like them tracking him through the house, but
Yep. Yep.
the full nude dance and like seeing him how happy he is with
I love it.
what he's
Because
done. Like it was
I'm not sure if you noticed, but that's, when he first gets to the house and Felix takes him on a tour, and Felix is like pointing out, oh, I fingered my cousin there, and he's like, talking about these little moments in his house, which I love because it's like, this is Felix's house. It's not a big castle to him. This is just where he lives. It's the norm. What that shot at the end is the reverse. So it starts in his bedroom and then it goes through the house, through the Felix's room, through the bathroom, whatever, and does the complete opposite. So it's like unraveling
okay.
the earlier ravel. And by then we know the house a bit better as well. Like I really like that dance scene, not just because it's funny and confronting, but I think yeah, it's a really like nice little cap off to such a crazy movie.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the four that I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Thought the fourth
The,
might have been when he kills Elspeth and he grabs like the tube out of her throat and like rips it out.
nah,
People saying that's kind of yuck, but I think it's
yeah.
fine.
Uh, by then, like I was ready for him to like
Yeah,
I
a little
knew what he was doing.
desensitized. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But like
Especially when go on.
the issue I had was Oliver's change in like motives. Like
Okay.
they did build to it, but then it was like for him to worm himself in to like get full control of the estate and the money and everything. I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Like I was fine when it was like him spiraling out of control to the point where like Felix died, everyone else died. I was just
Hmm.
I don't know how I felt about him like getting the estate and everything. Like I don't know.
I thought it was brilliant.
Okay.
I think I think when the whole movie so far has been about obsession and desire, and it's usually been about sexual obsession and sexual desire. Besides Felix, and that's why I love Felix as a character because he's so genuine for this world. Um, and then it's twisted. Like what we thought Oliver's motivations were and what Oliver was trying to do was completely changed. I think that's great. Like we discover a different desire of his, and even though we're on the journey with the main character, he's the narrator and all that sort of stuff. We we experience Oliver through the eyes of Felix, more or less. Like it is about Oliver, but it's not Oliver's retelling. It's really Felix's retelling. We don't know any of these things about what Oliver's doing in the background until it's all too late, just like it was for the whole family.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just it was a little bit. No, it was the full reveal where it was like everything was mastermind. Like he punched a hole in the tire. It was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
here's my bike, and
Yeah.
I was like,
When movies have
oh,
that reveal, it's like, okay, is all that possible? Because even if he did plan it all, when he got to the family, it turns out the mother and the father were like really intelligent and really like diligent. His plan wouldn't have worked. The fact that Elspeth was so vacant and the fact that Sir James Caton was so old really played like without that it wouldn't have worked out. So yeah, I think there's definitely like a suspension of disbelief. It's you know, as good as these movies, as fucking great as this movie is, to be honest, there is a little bit of like, well, you got lucky, I guess.
yeah,
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
yeah, yeah. So,
I've been watching a bunch of like interviews with Emerald Fennell, I'm trying to pronounce it,
mm,
the director, writer, whatever, and her attention to detail is insane. Like, I said, I want to rewatch this because there's so many moments where things that I wouldn't even have thought of in her little like talking about the movie. She mentions this, and that, and whatever. One thing that she mentioned that I now really want to pay attention to on the rewatch is his clothing and how much in the beginning he dresses really like proper and nerdy and his scarf and whatever. And then when he meets Felix and starts becoming a bit more casual, he's wearing more like casual sweaters and stuff. When he first gets the Saltburn, he's still in that those clothes and outfits. But then over time, he starts to just wear what they wear when he becomes sort of part of the family. Um, yeah, I love things like that because you always hear from directors and what we teach our students, I guess, all the time is that you've got to make a million decisions in every scene. Why not make good decisions? And for her to, there's a bit where they first get to the house, and she was saying part of the reason they chose that mansion or that castle is when they got there to even like scope out the location scout, there were hats on top of the bus in the hall, and a huge part of this was like, yes, this is a big fucking castle mansion, whatever, and it's got a lot of history. But for these people, it's just their house. Like they treat it like their house. There's from the chandeliers, there's like flypaper hanging down. Um, all those little things that make it feel like a lived-in home rather than this big fucking mansion. Like it is
yeah,
pretty casual. Yeah, it's a lot to love. I think they said brilliant.
no,
Like Emerald Fennell, it, you know, I don't know how else to put it. This is one of those movies that will stick with me that I'm going to rewatch. I'm going to get more and more out of each time. It's I think people are over exaggerating a little bit. People saying it's like so fucking wild and bizarre, and I mean, yeah, some of the scenes are a little bit like, oh wow, that's a bit wacky, but it's not.
it's confronting, and people make it for a trending sort of thing. It was the same with
Yeah, but it's not fucking Cannibal Holocaust or anything like that. Like it's
no, but it's the same happened with Sex Life on Netflix, where they were like the shower scene, skip to whatever, and then they were just getting people's reactions. They were like
oh, okay.
the
Yeah, I think that
reactions of people
happening.
make it like a trending thing. So they're like, watch it
Hmm.
with your family. Here's their reaction. That's why
Yeah,
people are like, it's why it's getting such big hype, I guess, as well.
and I
So
think for people who don't watch, like, there's a movie. It's called Touching the Void or Enter the Void. Enter the Void. Yeah, there's a movie called Enter the Void, which for me is one of those movies that was one of the first ones that I watched. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Um, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. That's sort of movie that I thought this was going to be. I thought this was going to be like at the end of Enter the Void. Oh, I can't really ruin anything. It's all like first person, not really. It's I don't know. It's so hard to describe. It's such a fucking acid trip. Um. Anyway, when I was hearing about this, I thought it was going to be a bit more bizarre than it was. But this is like mainstream bizarre. This is the kind of thing that people are watching with families where no one even knows about Into the Void, sort of thing, I guess. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's really good. I've given it a higher and higher ranking every time I think about it.
What do you give it then?
I'm at a 4.5 currently.
Okay. Yep.
I
Yep.
think there's a lot to love.
Okay.
Before the ending, it was like 3.5, but I think giving us a reveal and as soon as there's a reveal, there's reason to rewatch. And I
Okay.
think that for me is very enjoyable. So yeah, it's tentative, but a 4.5 right now. I'm gonna rewatch it and probably more like a 4, but we'll see.
The reveal ruined it for me. Like,
So
I,
interesting.
I feel like if they didn't show me this was all his grand plan the entire time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was just like a moment of opportunity where he could control this situation for the outcome, I would have enjoyed this way more. Where it was like I put a pin in the tire so his tire would go flat. Like,
So you think more like maybe he created the plan while he was at Saltburn?
yeah, like as he,
Sure.
because like he's come in this like how much background knowledge did this bloke have? Like, did he research this family? How did he know he was going to be in his class? Like, there's too many other questions that came in there, and I feel like his demeanor and stuff didn't match that until it was like he was presented with these opportunities. Where I feel like
Yeah.
that would have been better if it was a I guess moment of opportunity that he started to control, manipulate, and all of a sudden he was like, "Oh, I'm in here."
But that sort of changes his relationship with Felix though, because he his desire was never really like you feel like for a long time his desire is to be romantically involved with Felix or there's some sort of physical sexual connection, but it's always just been an obsession with who Felix is and what he represents and what he has. And I think if you try and initially, he's in love with Felix, or initially he, wants to be friends with Felix, and then he changes his mind, that feels different than from the beginning he wanted to have everything he has. It's more of like a greed obsession
Yeah,
rather than a lust.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the I put a pin in his tire and I orchestrated it all from there. For me,
Okay,
that ruined it. But
fair enough.
overall,
I can see where you're coming from.
had a really good time. Like it's not a 4. It's like higher than a 4, but the reveal, like I would have given it a 4.5. I think it's like a 4.2.
Sure.
Like it's really good. Like I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
far better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was maybe overhyped initially, but I think it lives up to it.
Mm,
There's a lot to like. And
yeah.
she, like I said, I love attention detail. I love when every single scene you could pause it and talk about why that's there and why that's there and the music choices, and it's all told through his lens. So I heard someone complain about the fact that this is set in 2006, but Flow Riders Low came out in 2007, and that's what the song that we were singing at the party. I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, number one, this is being told through the eyes of a fucking liar. So anything that's wrong with the story can be taken away with, oh, Oliver's just a liar anyway. I feel like that's a cool part of the story is there are elements that are probably going to be fabricated, and the elements are probably going to be a little bit embellished because that's who Oliver is, and that's I love that. Like we don't know what's real either.
Mm,
Anyway,
yeah. Weird.
yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
good.
it's
Go
good.
watch it
Yep. Let's move
for
on
sure.
to our big monster that's rising out of the sea, which is
It's Godzilla.
Godzilla Minus One. So this is the brand new Godzilla film.
Yep.
There's another one coming out after this as well.
Oh, the Kong one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones I
But
don't care about.
okay.
This one I wanted to watch.
Okay. Post-war Japan is at its lowest point when a new crisis emerges in the form of a giant monster baptized in the horrific power of the atomic bomb.
Sure.
So, so I was expecting a action-packed Godzilla film, and I didn't get that.
No,
No,
it's better than that.
no, it's not. It's what
Ah,
it's what I want
no,
Godzilla to be. I like
no. This was
no,
so grounded.
yes, yes, yes.
No, that's so. No, I knew that would be the way. I knew that this would be the one that I liked more than you, even though it's fucking a monster movie.
Mm, it's barely a monster movie.
Exactly. It's more about the people and post World War Japan and sort of the emotional toll of war and like being a kamikaze pilot. And yeah, this was more about people than the monster, and that's why I loved it.
I don't tune into Godzilla to not see Godzilla like storming a city. I see Godzilla to storm a city. Storm the city.
He stormed the city
He
at
barely
least
stormed
once.
the. He barely stormed the city. It was like you almost saw him less than -1.
Less than -1 minute.
Yeah,
I
like he was.
don't
He
know
was.
what -1's meant to mean, to be honest, but
I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to make a joke, but it didn't go well.
no, I get
Yeah.
it.
So this follows our main guy who was a kamikaze pilot. He was in the war. They dropped the atomic bomb, obviously in Hiroshima, and Godzilla was changed by the nuclear power of the bomb. So he's able to glow some glow. His like spines glow blue.
Yep.
Yep.
Shoot a heat ray.
Yeah. So he's in there and he storms bits and pieces very rarely. And then it's all about the people rebuilding after Godzilla attacked, after the war. The
Hmm.
pilot, who
Of the air raids.
I couldn't care less about his name, he takes in
Chikushima.
he
Chikushima.
takes he takes in a lady and a child who the child is not his or hers. It was given
Nope.
to her to look after.
But like him, the child's parents were killed by the air raids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he and this child that doesn't even speak yet have a bond,
Yeah.
have a common purpose and history.
Yeah. So it's about him going through life, trying to provide for them, rebuilding. You learn he gets a job to get rid of the mines that were in the water. So
Hmm.
he's shoots the mines. They use a rope to like cut the rope so the mines come up to the surface. They shoot it.
Yep.
And it's boring. It's
It's not.
so boring.
Oh,
Ugh,
I
ugh.
loved it. I
Really?
love that we spent such a long time getting to know these
It
characters
was
and like
so long.
watching them rebuild
I'd rather
after
watch
like
I'd rather
yeah,
watch
but
Godzilla like be mutated for the time rather than watch these people.
yeah, but
No.
Godzilla to me, like, yes, I know that traditionally in the Godzilla I grew up with, watching the old fucking kaiju movies and stuff, I like the long shots of a guy in a suit breaking down buildings and then everyone blows him up and that's sort of the end. But I don't think that's what movies need to be right now. I'm so glad that we can, even though it's a fucking Godzilla movie,
Just call
we
this
can
Godzilla
actually add some goddamn
Aftermath then.
emotion.
Nope.
Sorry.
Call it Godzilla Aftermath. And then
Well,
it's
no, well,
dealing with the aftermath of Godzilla.
there's a bit of that, but they also have to deal with Godzilla as a threat as well. They have to
Barely.
trap it, and
Barely. Barely.
there was a lot of moments I'm like, that doesn't make sense. How
Yeah, like the
like
side.
Godzilla at the end when they're trying to sink it in the trench, and even though Godzilla like seems to be standing up in the water, shooting lasers and stuff, and then they have to sink it. Like, does Godzilla just naturally float without having to like kick its legs or anything? I
Yes.
guess so.
He's got big legs.
It's got bigger legs.
He does have big legs.
It's true.
Also,
Yeah,
does he
I thought
walk
it
on
was
all
great, man.
fours or twos? Does he walk on his back legs? Like, can he just walk
Just
on
just his
back
back
legs?
legs. Yeah, his front legs are like little fucking T-Rex arms, sort of.
Yeah,
Not T-Rex arms, but
but he's got like spines, like um, what's the dinosaur called? One with the spines and the so,
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus. Yeah, I feel like he was a
Yeah,
Stegosaurus that mutated, and then he got smaller
I guess
arms, but he
potentially.
can still use it.
That's fucking cool, man. I love that we spent so long with the characters and like actually got to watch them over time, like rebuild this town and everyone getting along and
I didn't care. I wanted the town to burn.
oh,
Godzilla!
I mean, I got emotional at the end of this.
Did you? Did you
And
cry?
like seeing him, no, I didn't cry. Wouldn't matter if I did, but
It's okay
no,
if you
it just
did.
wasn't quite that level. But I think, it's about people first. And it's nice that Godzilla's like usually you watch a Godzilla movie, I'm kind of rooting for Godzilla because I want like, yeah, fuck yeah, more chaos, more mayhem. But this was one of the first times watching a Godzilla movie. I'm like, oh, I actually want the people to be successful here.
Yeah, but does Godzilla like have crazy healing abilities as well? Because he got
Yeah,
hit in
probably.
the he got hit in the chest like by the massive, like big
Yeah, well,
tanky
they talk
things.
about its skin being like impenetrable. That's why he had to blow it up
That's,
from the inside.
that's where you got to drown it.
Yeah, or crush it under the seabed pressure, which
Yeah, I don't know.
doesn't really make sense. Well, it does, but like that's where it came from.
Mate, I'm looking at pictures of Godzilla's quads, and he's got some quads on him.
Got
Should
some
be
quads.
should be good Quadzilla instead of Godzilla. Look at him.
It's not bad actually.
He's got bad
Quadzilla.
quads. Eh?
It's like calling you Quadzilla.
He would smash you in a bike ride. He'd be he'd be pedaling so
Godzilla on a
quick.
bike. That's the next movie. They fucking Godzilla rocks up and they're like, you know what? We're gonna have a race. And if you
I
beat
would
us, you can destroy our town. If we beat you, you gotta go.
I'd so watch that. Could you
Oh
imagine
fuck.
him using heat rays while he's like on a bike, just
On a bike,
scorch?
just
And they got
zipping
like
along.
they get like Lance Armstrong to like come and race him.
Yeah, I mean, only someone on steroids is gonna give Godzilla a run for his money.
I mean, with these quads, I think you need
Quadzilla,
more
my
than
bad.
you need more than just some steroids. I think you need an engine or something in there.
Nah,
No.
you got steroids and one testicle. You're in. I was a little disappointed though that there was no Godzilla in a suit. I kind of wanted a man in a suit a little bit more,
Okay. I think you
to be
look pretty
honest.
cool though.
It
Like
looked
when
decent and decent for like, mid-budget Japan.
yeah.
Like this was never like Marvel budget.
Mm. He's also got a thick neck, and a pinhead. Like like, it's a big neck.
He's got a big neck. Just
Really?
sitting here studying the entomology, anatomy, I guess, of the fucking Godzilla.
During Godzilla's a male or a female?
I have always saw it. I don't know, female in my eyes.
I always thought it was a male, but looking at it, I feel like he's got childbearing hips or her.
Childbearing hips,
Yeah.
the Godzilla
It's got
legs and the childbearing hips.
it's got the hourglass frame.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I've always pictured, because in the animal kingdom, the woman, the female, is normally the biggest and like most dangerous.
Yeah. I
Not
don't know.
always, but
Besides a lion, but the female lionesses do all the work, and they're
yeah, I'm picturing more like reptiles and that sort of stuff, I guess,
oh yeah,
and bugs and shit, spiders and whatnot.
yeah, right, crazy.
Yeah, it was good, man. I'm not sure how much more to say about it, but I
No,
really like the characters. I think the sets and that were really fucking cool. It really timepieces are always going to be difficult, especially when it's a time that I have no connection with. I don't know what post World War II Japan was like, and yet this I feel like. I mean, if anyone's out there, please correct me if I'm wrong, but this felt exactly like I was sitting there watching, real people World War II documentary sort of stuff. Like all that shit was so grounded. And the
yeah,
Godzilla, like I don't feel like Godzilla felt tacked on. I felt like this was to me the perfect little story. Like I loved it. I had a really fun time. I wouldn't say it's good as Saltburn. I think there's more to like appreciate with Saltburn, where this is sort of one and done. But I still think it's great. I think it's really
yeah.
grounded for a fucking movie about this like 100-foot monster shooting heat lasers, and it was pretty grounded.
Okay, okay,
I liked it a lot.
yeah, yeah. I didn't mind with Godzilla when they were dealing with Godzilla. Like Godzilla looked pretty cool. He felt like a
Hmm.
force, but the rest of it, I just didn't care about. I didn't care.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like it's not a bad film. I don't know. I've got an impression of what Godzilla movie should be, and I want Godzilla action. When like Godzilla's coming, and then I wanted Godzilla to be like popping up at different cities, and like Godzilla's a national threat rather than this one town.
Yeah. But again, I like that it's really about one character and how much like the character at the beginning, Shikishima, and him at the end. Like I love character development like that. He's such a different person,
No,
and
yeah,
that's the story I wanted a bit more.
no,
Like
no.
to no, like the guilt of being a kamikaze pilot who comes home, and then like the fear of everyone, judging you, and then the PTSD of war, and like it. I don't know. All that shit was so fucking good to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a 2.5. I probably wouldn't recommend
Way.
it.
Oh wow.
Mm, mm,
Interesting. No, this was like to me the best. I couldn't think of a Godzilla monster movie that I thought was better than this.
no. I'm more excited for
Uh,
the Blumhouse Night Swim than I am to rewatch this.
serious? Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Marco,
Wow, wow, wow.
Godzilla. Yeah. Fish out of
I
water.
don't know. This made me feel things which I wasn't expecting, and that's good within itself. I think
It made
it's
me
sort
feel
of
things
depressing
too.
and bored. No, it's a four for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think it's great. I yeah, I'm not sure it's necessarily rewatchable, but I think it's a really, really like I don't know, it's a beautiful story. It's hard and it's depressing and it's emotional and it's not what I expected from a Godzilla movie. Maybe I'm being a bit biased because I expected it to be a fucking action-packed piece of crap.
Yep.
But it's yeah, I thought it was really special.
Yeah.
It's a movie that I recommend to people for sure.
Yeah. Interesting. Well then, let's move on to our last bit, which is
Pokemon.
Pokemon Concierge. This
Yeah.
one took me by surprise, and I think it took a lot of people by surprise because the art style and the story of this is not anything that you are used to in a Pokemon
No,
universe. So the art style looks kind of cool. Once you like
it's great.
get away from the shock of it, going, "Whoa, what is happening here?"
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Stop
really cool.
motion. It's real stop motion. I
Mm,
went and watched some videos on how it was
yeah,
made. It's real stop motion.
yeah, right. That's cool. So this follows the adventures of Haru, a concierge at the Pokemon Resort, as she interacts with the Pokemon and their visiting owners. I was so confused in what the hell this was. Like,
But
it's a hotel for Pokemon
also for
and
owners.
sometimes owners,
Yeah.
but not always
It's the
owners.
Pokemon Resort.
Yeah. So the Pokemon go there. The concierge must always wear some bandana, some kind of thing, and their
Yeah, yeah.
whole job is just to help the Pokemon.
We'll have
So
fun. It's about
yeah,
having fun.
mm, yeah. I guess they're on vacation, so they need to have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So look, was the story interesting? Not really, no.
No,
Was the art style really, really cool? Yes.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Um,
I'm fucking I'm so obsessed with stop motion at the moment. I can't believe the amount of shit that's coming out. That's everything is so beautiful.
yeah.
Like as much as Chicken Run 2 wasn't an amazing movie, the stop motion was incredible. We had Guillermo
Mm,
del Toro's Pinocchio, that was amazing.
yeah.
This is really good. Like I'm just loving where we're going with animation
It seems like they're
in
going
this golden era.
back to stop motion. Like there was a
In a
time
in a
where
way.
stop motion wasn't really being used and it was just CGI
Hmm.
everything. And now
Yeah.
they're kind of going back, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, CGI became the expectation,
Mm,
and now everyone's like, no, art is the expectation.
yeah. So there's 4 episodes. They run for it says 20 minutes a piece, but they're not 20 minutes. They're like 12 to 14 minutes a
Yeah.
piece.
It's like 5 minutes of credits for every episode.
Yeah. So you follow the entire story is about Haru and her gets a job at the resort and her becoming a concierge and her being like a
Mhm.
scared sort of I got no idea what I'm doing to a
Yeah.
confident I'm gonna have fun. Welcome to
Yeah.
the resort. So each episode focuses on a different person, or I shouldn't say person. It's a Pokemon that she needs to help.
Commands.
Like she
Hmm.
befriends a Psyduck. I was like,
Yeah. Love Psyduck.
I like Psyduck, but I kind of want a different Pokemon. Like Psyduck, Misty had a Psyduck, and like from the original Pokemon, I was used to seeing Misty and Psyduck. That was like her companion. Rox was like Geodude, and obviously Ash was Pikachu. I wouldn't mind like some more variety of like, here's a a different Pokemon that you can bond
Yeah,
to. They just seem to
that's
always go,
fair. Whereas
always,
I like my old favorites.
yeah, but they always go to like certain ones. And I feel like a new one would have been kind of cool. Like if she befriended a Arcanine
Sure, of course you'd
or
say that.
like a Rapidash, or I'm struggling with newer Pokemon names.
Yeah,
A
but it needs to be something little, cute, fun, goofy. It needs to be that's sort of the point, I think. Whereas like Arcanine, Rapidash, they're powerful Pokemon. Psyduck's a derp. That's sort of the point of the character. This is a very cutesy show. The only
yeah,
dragon we even see is Dragonite, which is a very cutesy dragon.
or like Machamp. Machamp's sick.
Of course you would. It's fucking
Yeah,
just boring Pokemon. I hate the
whatever.
Machamp line. No,
Oh,
I hate them.
you would. They flex on you all the time.
They might as well be humans.
Yeah, they're
What a
sick.
what a boring Pokemon.
Yeah. So like I don't know, like it was okay. There was nothing like super special besides the art style for me. Like it was
Yeah,
so cool seeing the different Pokemon and in the
definitely.
different art style, which was cool. The rest of the
The
story is
textures.
yeah, the textures of the actual Pokemon, they look like they all had some fuzz and stuff to them, which
Hmm.
was cool.
Even like Metagross, the big fucking
Yeah, and Graveler.
metal thing with a cross on its head, like the thing was playing with Graveler in episode 3 or 2.
Yeah,
I like that it looked metal. It probably
yeah.
was made out of metal. There's so much. I think stop motion lends itself beautifully to Pokemon because there's so many textures you can explore, and it gives so much more personality to Pokemon than just animation.
Mm,
There's so much more realist. It's not realistic, but there's so much more like human heart behind anything stop motion.
yep.
I think yeah, this was really cute. I had a really good time with this.
Okay. I mean, the
It's a
tagline
nice little
is
theme. Like, it's sometimes in life when shit's really bad, remember that nothing matters. Have fun. Like
yeah.
that was sort of the underlying theme of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the tagline's probably the premise of the show as well. I'm happy when you're happy, and
That's the tagline.
her whole thing was
Yeah.
like getting the Pokemon to feel her emotions. So if she was happy,
Yeah.
they would be happy. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not why I watch or play Pokemon. Like I'm there for the big powerful
The
battles and
battles and
the
yeah,
tournaments
yeah.
and stuff. Like that's what I like. And I know
Fair.
Pokemon has kind of expanded. Like even the other like the shoot off games, I don't care about like Pokemon Snap and stuff. Like
Right. Whereas I love those moments in Pokemon. I love the battles and the tactics and all that sort of stuff. But my favorite thing in Pokemon's always been building teams and collecting and all that stuff. Like I,
yeah,
I love Pokemon for their designs and that. That's why I think this was perfect for me.
okay, yeah,
But
yeah,
you're right when you say there isn't much story to it. It's
yeah.
um
It's like
it's pretty like
here's a Pokemon, make it happy. The
yeah,
end. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then even episode 3, which I literally just watched before we came on, I feel like even less happened in episode 3 than episode 1 and 2.
Mm.
But I still liked it because I got to see like Gyarados and Magikarps and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, that was cool. Episode 4 is just about Pikachu's.
Oh really? Okay. I'll
Mm.
get there.
Yeah.
Probably watch after this.
Mm. Yeah, it's
I
okay.
like it. It's
It
cute.
was all
It's
right.
I don't know how kids would go with it because I think probably not as like kids probably want more fast pace than what this presents. But
Yeah,
I've heard this all they're doing as well. I've heard they're not doing any more than 4 very short episodes, which seems like a bit of a missed opportunity.
I don't know. I guess if it gets reasonably popular, they'll be like, yeah. I feel like it'd be pretty time consuming.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Stop motion always is,
yeah. So it's like a,
but there's still less.
they didn't have anything exceptionally wrong with it besides not really a storyline.
No, and that's like to me, it's like a 3.5 because it's cute to watch, but there's not much substance to it.
Yeah,
Like
mine's like 2.5, 3. Like, would I recommend it?
okay,
Be like, if you like the world of Pokemon and you want a nothing sort of cute, fun ride, then yeah. But if
fair,
you like
fair, yeah.
If you're a fan of like the original Pokemon and you want like battles and stuff, no, no.
If anyone's literally a Pokemon fan, I'd say watch it.
Okay.
I think that if you're if you're an actual Pokemon fan, then you're gonna like it
Okay.
because it's just it's more Pokemon, and that's never a bad thing. And I kind of like that it's not about battles and because the Pokemon existence is meant to be like a human existence. It's just we go about our lives, we do what we want to do day to day. Not every single person in the world of Pokemon is out there fucking collecting Pokemon, battling people, trying to become the very best.
Like no
I like
one
these
ever
little
lows.
side stories. Down, 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 down.
Yeah.
Banger of a song.
Yeah. I don't know. It was alright. But
I thought it was sweet.
mm, yeah, wouldn't watch it again. But next week with hopefully Lawson will somehow see the boy and the heron. We'll do we'll do the review whenever Lawson gets around to
Whenever I get
seeing it.
access to it, yeah.
We got the new Wonka. So new heard an interesting fact about the old Willy Wonka, and I'll bring that up about what Willy Wonka was
Okay.
based off of. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know how reputable or how true it is, but it sounds pretty
Sure.
interesting.
Okay.
And then we've got Dream Scenario, which you're very keen on. And
Absolutely.
then we've got the new UK movie, which is How to Have Sex.
How to
So
have sex.
yeah,
I need advice.
that's that's what we got next
Sorry.
week.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I haven't even heard about this movie until you mentioned it. So
yeah, it was a
see what
film
it's like.
festival one.
Sure.
Easy. So all we do ask you to do is tell your friends. If you're on
Tell your
Spotify, give
friends.
us a 5-star rating. If it's not 5-star, don't worry about it. And you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. We'll see you guys next time.
You love
Boys.
yous.